Okay, we should be live right now. Good evening to everyone. The viewers in the US and maybe also Canada are probably thinking I'm an hour late, but we turned the clocks back here this weekend. And I think in the US it's going to be on the 2nd of November. So we're only 4 hours ahead now of the US. The title today is Insurmountable UK Debt Mountain Feeding on the Nation's Seed Corn. And I think this applies to every Western nation, actually, because we all have the same problem. We've had decades of financialization, decades of artificial interest rates, decades of massive government spending, decades of exporting our industries abroad. Yes, globalization, that is. And now there's the demographic problem as well. We have a lot of baby boomers retiring in the next 7 years or so. And the ratio of people working to people that are retired has gone from somewhere like 7 to 1 in the 50s to around 3 to 2 to 1. So we have a huge debt problem, fiscal problem. And in the UK, especially, we've got, unfortunately, really big government, and that hasn't helped. And I don't think another political party that would be running the country right now would have the solution either. But maybe the fact that we're seeing the socialists or labor really wreck everything, it could be a blessing in disguise because it could accelerate the collapse because I think this system is rotten to the core and needs to come down. Of course, it's going to be disruptive. And this is why I've been trying to warn people about it. I have a playlist about UK economic collapse, UK debt bomb, debt time bomb. There are things I've been talking about for years. And I think it might be another 12, 18 months. Things will get even more difficult. So I'll stop at that and say hello to try to get everyone in on the greeting. We've got Indy 5542 over here is here. Beefy Farmer, Pablo Pina, Hio Silver. Hio Silver was complaining earlier, saying that I only say hello to certain people, but that's not true. Maybe if you put my handle on, it's like red and I can see it. There are a lot of people commenting. I try my best. Dutch Libertarian, Monaco 64. Good day, sir. Hope you're well. Yes, I am. And there's Rudy having a nap. Just AB Esquire. Hi, Monaco for Rudy. Greetings from the Scottish borders. Peter Brunsgaard is here. Hopefully Bella's doing well, Peter. In Dutch Libertarian, R. Elkes, Itchy Boots doing well in Afghanistan, going toward Tajikistan. Rick N. Fed 7472. Hello, everyone from Nebraska. Native American 9049 is here. Who else? Charger Mopar. Too many to say hi to. Yeah. Well, this is scheduled to start at the top of the hour, so I always go live if 10 minutes before, so just to talk to people. By the way, I'm on my own today. Clive is back from China, but he went to Zurich today for a coin fair, so he wasn't going to be able to make it back to Geneva in time. He should be back on Friday and then for the live stream next Sunday. SQ7944, greetings from Long Island, New York. Rudy is a superstar. XMDBLD, hi Mario. Oregon, the good part, Southern Oregon. Mark D. Bob, Republic of Alberta. I thought it was a province. I know what you mean there by the Republic. Andy Lee from Italy. Peter says Bella's doing well. That's good. Ralph on the right. Hello, Monaco 64 from Alabama. All right. I've been to Auburn, Alabama. In 2002, I went there to a conference at the Mises Institute. Mohammed Saeed, Mohammed Saeed, 8634. U.S.-China deal seems to be done. What do you think of gold price now? Uh, well, nothing's changed for me. I think gold is going to continue to go a lot higher. So is silver. Um, I think we might see a little bit more of a consolidation after we hit almost 4,400. So yeah, as regards to China and the U.S., I wouldn't really be too excited about anything. It looks like the people behind the scenes have come to some kind of package or deal, but now it has to be approved by Xi and Putin and Trump. But we'll see. Requa 3 says, my roommate was really happy with his Keep Stacking Rudy mug. Oh, birthday gift. That's great. Who we've got here? John Harlan, Boa Noite, from Portugal, Fundão, Portugal. Info Warrior 911, Super Mario, and the Rootster been following you from back in the day when you had the Billster. Yeah, Billy. Uh, Billy the Silver Ranger. No, I think Rudy's the Silver Ranger. They both like silver anyway. Steph is in Akron, Ohio. Talking about the Keep Stacking Rudy mug. Um, I think is it this one here? Yeah, I have it t tonight. I've got some tea. But I wanted to actually show some people might not know about it. We have a merchandise store, and the link is below in the description. So it was actually created by one of the viewers in Florida. So it's yeah, you can find a link below in the description. The Rudy Collection, Meet Mario and Rudy. So these are the items you can get there, the merchandise and the Fed t-shirts and the Fed mugs, Rudy mugs, water bottles. You have a Rudy Best Dog Ever pillow, tote bag. So anyway, enough of that. Yeah, Billy Bullion, we used to call him MM. Yeah, that's right. Brett Peel off 2120. Monaco, what are the odds you got three people from Ohio in here? Well, they're not very big odds because 40% of my followers are from the US, 20% from the UK, and I think then Canada about 12 or 10, then Australia, Then actually the Netherlands, there's quite a few viewers from there. Over here says Mario, was the run on gold in Australia real? I don't know. I mean, I just saw photos and clips of what was happening there. I noticed there were a lot of people that were like Asian or Indian that were in the queue or in the line, and that was Diwali, which I think might still be going on, which is a festival for Indians where they buy a lot of gold. So I don't know. The thing is, if we saw that one, I don't know where it was in Australia, but we didn't see like several runs or anything, so I don't know. I think the public is getting a little sniff of it, but it's still early days. I think if you talk to people on the streets, yeah, they might know that gold's doing well, but that's about it. If anything, they're selling some of their old jewelry because they think, well, we'll get some, it's worth a lot now. And I think that's a mistake. Top Shagger stones. My friends have been sending me things about the gold crash. You've got to laugh about it. I had to agree with them. It hasn't crashed to levels seen since October 10th. Well, we'll look at a chart of gold that I have prepared here, and you see if it looks like a crash. Excalibur 3311, retail demand for precious metals is rising and continuing. It's very real in Australia. I've seen multiple videos from different people. There you go. Denmark is here on the live stream. Arezzo in Italy is here. Public is selling silver at the local coin store. Yeah, I mean, unless you do need the fiat currency for an emergency, I personally wouldn't be selling. I went to it's called Heritage Coin. It's near Covent Garden in London. I highly recommend. It's in Cecil Court, and the he's in the basement. His name is Philip Cohen, and I bought some of these Portuguese 50 centavos. They're like 835 silver, really nice junk silver. Bought a few. Shantian Shantian Jr. Hey Mario, have you heard about the new super missiles from Russia? A real game changer? You mean the Orezhnik's missiles? Is that what you mean? I mean, that's been around for a while now, Oreshnik, or maybe there's a new one. And 5595 Shards and Atkinsons are very busy. They can't ship orders out for over a week. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. And a lot of, I've seen that Atkinsons has had problems. They've been out of stock quite a bit. I think they've got some back now. Uh, Seth Shepard, yeah, I still buy gold when I can. It's getting more and more difficult, of course. Um, but yeah, I think the last, yeah, I bought like some sovereigns the last time. PL 6035, will you transfer silver into gold when the ratio lowers? No, I won't. Um, yeah, yeah, I will keep adding gold and silver to my stack. I might favor silver a little more if I can get a good deal from like a not necessarily like gold investments. I use gold investments, of course, to buy gold and silver, but sometimes to buy if I go to like a coin shop, which is different than a bullion dealer, and they have some bullion for a reasonable price, like below without VAT, because a lot of times they sell it secondhand. I will do it, yeah. But no, I don't plan to do like a exchange gold for silver and vice versa. I just want to get out of fiat currency as much as possible. Requa, do you have Canadian junk? Yeah, I do actually. I have a lot of the $1 Canadian coins. Yeah, that's the ones I have the most. Yeah, and I have 80%. I have some of the 925, the real old ones, not that many. Sojourner 6237, do you expect miners to continue doing well? Yes, I do. Yeah. There's still, I saw a chart, maybe I'll find it, of the GDX versus the Nasdaq, and it looks really good. So let's go over a little bit been going on in here in the UK, because the title of the live stream, of course, is about UK debt mountain feeding on the nation's seed corn. What does that mean? Well, it means that the government is in so much debt. The government has become so bloated. The public sector is so big, and the current government doesn't see that that's a problem, mainly because they're the people who voted for him. Uh, the great majority of their supporters are like work for the government or things like that, work for the bureaucracy, depend on government, and yeah, they need to keep. They need to please these people, but at the same time, they have the problem that's called the bond market. And I think that's going to continue to be a huge problem. For the last 3 years or so, bond yields have kind of stabilized. But if you remember well, we got to below 1% in terms of the 10-year gilt yield back in 2020. And now we're at like 4.5. And it's come off a little bit recently, and they're all cheering for it, but I think that's premature. And we're going to look at why that's premature. I'm going to bring up a chart here, and this is going to apply to not just the UK, but it's going to apply to the rest of the world, or the Western world. Let's bring up the chart. Where is the chart? Well, first I'm going to bring up a chart of very long-term UK interest rates. So it's going back to 1800. And I had a chat with Noam of Zurich, and he looks at very long-term charts. And he was telling me there's a Kondratiev 54-year cycle in the bond market. So he told me about the interest rates topped here in 1866 at 10%. Yes, they topped here in this panic as well. But if you add 54 to 1866, you get 1920. And in 1920, after World War One, interest rates spiked. There was quite a bit of inflation, because during wartime they printed a lot of money, of course. So that was 54 years. And if you add 54 to 1920, you get 1974, which is, let's see, right here, around here. Interest rates went to 13%. Yes, they went higher a couple years later, but in Europe, the rest of the other markets, they topped in 1974. Yeah, in the US, it did top in 1981. That was kind of an anomaly. So that was 1920 plus 54, 1974. So if you add 54 to 1974, you get 2028. So he thinks UK interest rates and yields are going to soar by 2028. It could start any day or any week. So let's have a look at the 10-year UK yield. I'm going to bring it up here so we can have a look at the chart. And don't forget that rising yields are not a good thing. That means the government has to pay more to service the debt, and it has to pay more to also issue new debt. So as you can see here, this was the Liz Truss crisis where interest rates spiked. They had already started going up, but you can see here that we got almost to zero back in July of 2020, and people really loaded up on mortgages here. It was very cheap, and so 2020, 21. So a lot of these mortgages are 5-year mortgages. So some of them are going to have to be renewed in 2026 or even being renewed right now. Or even in 2022, you add 5 years. And here in the UK, we don't have 30-year mortgages like in the US. It's usually 2 or 5 years, and the term could be for 30 years, but you can't fix the rate for more than 5 years, maybe 10 years sometimes. So yeah, as I said, it's kind of consolidated here, but if we look at the long-term chart, we've really broken. Let's see. Let's do a weekly. So yeah, so we had since the early 80s a bear market in yields, a bull market in bonds, and a lot of people don't look at that. They don't realize, they see bond yields coming off. I've seen in the news, financial news, and people are saying, "Oh, bond yields now are stabilizing. Everything will be fine," but they don't realize that we are in a bear market. And why do I say that? Well, because we had basically 40 years of a bull market of lower rates, and now we've broken that trend, and the trend is higher. And according to the Gnome of Zurich, he's done his wave analysis. Yeah, we could go up any day or any week. This consolidation is usually very bullish for yields, which is a bad thing for prices. So and then we have the 54-year cycle. So I expect sometime around 2028, I don't know, it's difficult to forecast the exact month, we're going to be a lot higher. Once the yields break through 5%, look out, and that's going to affect everything. It's going to affect how the government can fund itself. It's going to be really disastrous for financially. And I think the general public is already in a tough situation. The bottom 50% people are having to borrow money for groceries. There's a lot of people needing to use food banks, even people who have jobs. House affordability or rent is really bad. But I think that the people who are going to suffer, unfortunately, uh, and anyone suffering is unfortunate, are going to be the baby boomers, the people who, especially those at the higher end, upper middle class, upper class, because they're counting on their pensions to retire and do really well. A lot of them have private pensions, and I think the spike in interest rates is going to be deadly for for uh, for that sector, the pensions, and because government bonds are going to crash. And I think Yeah, that's why I don't hold any government bonds. If you have any government bonds, I personally would be getting out. This is not advice. And that's why I don't think the bull market in gold and silver is anything close to its, how can I say, to its end. And it's different from the 70s because the 70s was an inflationary period, and that's why gold went up. That's why bond yields went up. But now we have a debt crisis and currency crisis. And in the US, the same thing is happening, but in the US, they're inflating things much more because they have the still the major reserve currency. Here in the UK, we don't have it, but they're going to resort to printing as well eventually. I noticed that the Labour Party is fracturing, and the left of the Labour Party, who are a lot less fiscally responsible, they're going to have a lot more power. So I'm going to stop here about the UK, and you guys can start asking me questions. David West, do you follow Gerald Celente? Yeah, I mean, I followed him years ago. Sometimes I watch him. My wife, I think, follows him, but I don't follow him regularly. After the gold rush, I moved my private pension into a gold SIP 7 months ago, and gold is up 20% since then, even allowing for the recent correction. Well, that's good. High ho silver. USA debt clock interest going down. Why debt going up? Maybe the interest going down because the bond yields have come off a bit, but I think the US is in the same boat as the UK in terms of bond market. It's going to go back up, the yields. Are Elkas pay property tax November, December, January? Yeah, and the other thing about the UK, we have a budget coming up on November 26th, and they're, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation what they're going to do, but the main strategy for the current chancellor or Minister of Finance, Rachel Reeves, is to keep taxing the productive part of the economy. And that's making things even worse. So she's going to get less tax receipts by doing that because the public sector doesn't create any wealth. The public sector, yeah, people might pay tax in the public sector, but it's actually technically they don't pay tax because we in the private sector pay the tax, then the tax man pays the public sector workers, and then the public sector workers just send that money back as tax. So that's one thing people don't understand. The public sector doesn't pay tax. So by growing the public sector, it's not going to help. And yeah, it's all going to end in tears, unfortunately. William PM CD, any comment on Canada? Will Alberta secede? What happens to mining there if so? Thank you. You know, I was following that story a little closer in the beginning of the Trump administration. So, yeah, I'm not surprised Alberta might want to secede from the Union, from a lefty globalist federal government. But to be honest, I haven't followed it that closely, so I couldn't tell you what would happen to mining. Well, I mean, if they were able to secede, yeah, it would be under the Alberta government now. Uh, Canada, Ottawa would lose out, I guess. And it'll probably help mining there because I suspect Alberta would be a lot more mining and business friendly than Ottawa. That's only speculation from me. Native American divide and conquer until we are all minced up. Steve McCrae, evening Mario brother. Gerald is a firecracker. Yeah, Gerald Salenti can get quite angry. Paul Trainer, thank you for your super chat. Sandy Anderson, do you think the silver shortage or collapse in the silver market could kick off off the hyperinflation? Yeah, not sure the you by collapse you mean the collapse of the LBMA as a market, not the market price. And I think the silver shortage, the main reason for it is that like the people in New York and London, the bankers, they account for yeah, let's say there's a certain amount of tonnage in the vaults. They say this is for SLV and so on, and they make it available for other participants, the SLV stock, and that's a problem. You know, that's fractional reserve, and we also seen that India now has basically monetized silver. They're going to allow people to collateralize their loans with silver. They're basically saying that silver is money again, and they're buying a lot of silver. So yeah, silver is every time silver got to 50, we had major crises. 1980, the dollar was on its last legs. There was a big recession. Volcker had to raise rates to 20%. 2011, 2012, we had the European sovereign debt crisis. So what is it going to be right now? It could be hyperinflation. Echo, echo. A lot of the public sector in the UK have defined benefit pensions, whilst the private sector only gets defined contribution. Does not seem reasonable to me. Well, and that defined benefit pension, that's paid with our taxes, right? Because the government doesn't own any businesses and doesn't earn any money to pay the public sector workers. Maybe the only business that they run that is slightly profitable is the Royal Mint, but that's too small. Just saw a question here, trying to get back. MRB 4916, thank you for being a moderator. He says, greetings, Mario and Rudy. Uh, oh, David West. Mario, I can pretty much guarantee that the crash in gold and silver prices were not people like us selling, but an avalanche of paper. I agree. I think it, I think it was the big bullion banks, to be honest. They just wanted an opportunity to cover their shorts and go long. You've noticed that they're all quite bullish now. They keep upgrading their price targets, and I would say their price targets are still really low, and they're going to keep upgrading them in the future. Dilwyn Roberts, Mario, do you think a stock market crash will crash precious metals? No, I don't. I don't. I think maybe a little bit of a correction, but it's not going to crash metals because it's going to be the next sector to be in if the stock market crashes. Excalibur 3311 says there is no trade deal in China. Government is just recycling the same headlines in manufactured in June. You can actually see the same language in June. Well, what they want is the stock market to go up tonight and tomorrow morning. That's basically what they want. Silver J56. What effect will India's ruling that silver can be used as collateral be on Western stackers? Well, it's going to help them because it's going to make silver a lot more valuable. And that's why I think silver is still really cheap. Because, yeah, that's the other thing as well. The gold silver ratio is still around just above 80. And that's a historically really high level. And in precious metals bull markets, the gold silver ratio always drops really sharply. In 1980, it dropped to 16 to 1. In 2011, it dropped to 30 to 1. So, yeah, if we went to 30 to 1 and gold stayed where it is, silver would be 120. But I think gold's going a lot higher. So, yeah, it's only a matter of time when silver gets back above 50. And I think this drop back below 50 is normal. It was a really important level over the last 45 years. We broke out, we went 54, and now we're retesting it. That's usually very healthy for a breakout. Mm. Irish Irish Luck 9717. Where do you buy collectible coins? Well, a couple of places. One is Peter Morris Coins and Metals in Bromley, South London. He's based at Bromley North Station. And the other one that I like is in near Charing Cross. It's coin heritage. He's in Cecil Court. Really, really nice street, pedestrian street. Really nice little shops there. And he's in the basement. There's a banknote dealer on the floor above, and he's below. Yeah, Heritage Coin. During lockdown, I bought a lot of collectible silver coins from eBay, but I haven't bought anything there for a while. Croy Kai, how many ounces is the YouTube plaque? It's not real silver, of course. So, but I was telling, yeah, that's for 100,000 subscribers, that plaque. And for 1 million, it's a gold plaque. It's not really gold, but that ratio is 10 to 1, right? A gold silver ratio. So YouTube knows something that we don't. It's not pure plastic. It's like a metal, but it's not silver. It's silver color. Virtual dude, may I ask you how to go about insuring your precious metals? Well, uh, I guess if you store it with a private vault like Gold Investments, they provide that. That's insured. Um, I mean, that's a way to do it. But if you keep it at home, I guess the best insurance really is to hide it very safely. But so there you go. But Gold Investments provides a good service, a private vault, and they actually you take your gold and silver there, and they go through it and they write down everything you've got. They stamp it, and yeah, they charge you a nominal price per ounce a year. It's not that bad, but they also insure it. Evola's sunglasses. Did you do a video on one of the shops you just mentioned? Yeah, I've done a video on the Peter Morris coin and metal dealers. I've done a couple of videos, but not on coin heritage. Yeah, Excalibur, that is a counterparty risk. The other thing about insuring it, do you really want an insurance company and other people to know what you've got in terms of that? That's the thing. But you could call a contents insurance and tell them you've got 20,000 pounds in gold. They'll probably insure it. You just need to ask them. Peter Brunsgaard, thank you for the super chat. Any risk of countries confiscating physical or nationalizing minors if things get really bad? Well, yeah, anything's possible, Peter. The only thing I would say about confiscation is that nowadays, it's not like in the early 30s where gold was part of the system. And I think a lot of the confiscation happened. Well, technically it wasn't confiscation, but a lot of people had gold in banks, right? Because you kept the gold in the bank and they gave you the bank notes, the Federal Reserve notes, or like other bank notes. There wasn't just Federal Reserve notes. But when Executive Order 6102 came out, the banks basically sent all uh, the depositors' gold over to the Federal Reserve banks of that district, and then yeah, you were left with the cash. So, but nowadays banks don't even deal in gold anymore for the public. So yes, it's possible, but until it happens, and a lot of people probably have not bought gold because of that over the last few years. But I've always said, until it happens, it's still a good protection. And lo and behold, gold has doubled in the last 18 months. And so if you're worried about confiscation, yes, sell. I'm not saying you in particular, Peter, but I'd say if you're worried about confiscation, sell your gold into fiat and maybe buy something that you don't think the government is going to come after, like some kind of antique or fine art or luxury watches or di not diamonds really, but yeah, or maybe buy some land or something like that. So there you go. But they can come after anything, unfortunately, the governments. Andrew 69 Novak, thank you for your super chat. AI channels about sound money are coming out of the woodwork. People must be curious about the subject. Yeah, no, I've seen that. There are also some AI channels that basically steal content from channels like mine and others. It's a bit frustrating, but I guess the more information about sound money, the better. Long live coins. Monaco 64, Tomahawk 1705. Keep the liquor cabinet full with vodka like the Russians did in the 90s. It's a good bartering item. And if you run out of gas for your car, you can just throw a bottle of vodka on your and you're good to go. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are barterable. I think like cigarettes as well. People still smoke. Uh, yeah, a lot of things. Hi Ho Silver, any new books? Um, oh yeah, I mean, there's this one I was sent by the Mises Institute, Hayek for the 21st Century, and it's edited by Thomas Di Lorenzo. And the best thing about this book is that it's free. There's 100,000 copies free. So if you go into the to Mises.org website, you can order one of these, or you can just get the free PDF online. I've started to read it. So it says here, it is hardly an exaggeration to refer to the 20th century as the Hayek century, wrote journalist John Cassidy. Throughout the century, Hayek played a prominent role in critiquing socialism and defending free market capitalism. So This is really good. It's got a lot of material about Hayek. I'm gonna bring the page up in a minute. I've just got another super chat here. Kevin Collins, thank you. When the gold silver ratio is high as it is now, do you focus only on silver until the ratio comes down, or continue to stack gold as well? Yeah, I do continue to stack gold. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me, but yeah, it's easier to buy silver, and I do it fairly. I don't go like and buy a huge amount of silver in one go. I just buy it whenever, yeah, a little bit, dollar cost averaging, so to speak. But I think both are still good. Yeah, so there's no difference really. And it depends, it's all up to you as well, your preference. Let me see here. This book, Hayek. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna put the link for you guys. I'll show you the page. It's really easy. You get a free book. There's 100,000, so there you go. Get your free Hayek for the 21st century book. You just have to fill things out. Let me, here's the link. Yeah, they're not paying me for this. They wanted to, the chap that contacted me, but I said, I like to help the Mises Institute because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have learned a lot of the stuff that I know from the Austrian School of Economics. And the Austrian School of Economics, of course, they're like for sound money, they're for small government, they're for free markets, they're for governments not interfering in the economy, right? Unfortunately, yeah, they're not as popular as they should be, but I think they will become more and more popular. Mario, I'm pleasantly surprised that we haven't had another nonsense pandemic over here. Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to, hopefully there won't be another one. William PMCD, please, have you ever studied the history and influence of the Vulgate Bible, Book of Esther? No, I haven't. I've heard of that Book of Esther, but I don't really know much about it. Long lived coins. Thank you for your super chat. Here's 10 for Rudy's next silver purchase. Thank you. Rudy, say thanks. Well, he's asleep. Wavy McFly, love you, Mary. You've been on fire lately. Oh, thank you. Damon Statos, that was an easy sign up for the Hayek book. Yeah, Bruce Campbell. Yeah, I mean, Murray Rothbard, who was an Austrian, well, he's American, but of the Austrian school. He wrote another book that I recommend, What Has Government Done to Our Money? The Case for a 100% Gold Dollar. So, yeah, sound money means gold and silver standard. They do advocate that. And it's, I'll just write here, it's MISES. MISCS. And it's named after Ludwig von Mises, who who taught Hayek. Actually, he was his professor, von Mises. Top Shagger says Hayek only available for U.S. citizens. Well, they do have a free PDF online and on the Mises website. So if they can't ship it to you, you you can get the PDF. Croikei, yes, good old Bill Cooper. I remember Bill Cooper, William Cooper, isn't it? Interesting guy. Uh, 1550s, Mary, do I have a plan B outside of the UK? Well, that's an interesting question because my wife and I have been talking about that. But the more I weigh things, right now, the way things are set up for us, things are pretty good in terms of taxation and stuff. And there's that old saying, "Better the devil you know," and I think at our age, I'm 61 now. My wife is 59. Moving to another country, yeah, it's not as simple. And as there's a lot of things you have to get used to. And here, we know how things work. We've got good friends, neighbors. So yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mean, we do talk about it, but that's the way I see it. But there's a lot of stuff online about where people are going and stuff. I guess for the you know, billionaires and very wealthy people, it's a lot easier. They can keep their homes in the UK or just, move somewhere else and still be okay. But if we were to move, we'd have to sell everything here and go somewhere else. Indy 5542, the wallpaper. Well, we redecorated this room earlier this year, so that wallpaper is gone. Matt Bittner, what are your thoughts on the new sanctions on Russian oil industry? They seem like a joke and won't meaningfully stop. Yeah, everything, all these sanctions are a joke. I noticed that the US dollar is down 33% versus the ruble this year. So those sanctions are working really well. Not. David West, Mario, the fiat collapse has been coming for many years. We need a gold-backed system next time around. Time to stop the ridiculous spending for the government and have I agree. I mean, you look at government spending and you can Google it, government spending as a percentage of GDP, and there's a list on Wikipedia, and up until World War One, the UK government spending was just under 10% of GDP. In the US, it was even lower. And now it's like 50% or more. In France, it's like 56%. It's not sustainable because the only way government can spend is by taxing the productive private sector. The other way they're spending is through inflation. So, inflation, of course, is a hidden tax. It's got nothing to do with the price of anything. It's got everything to do with deficit spending and central bank reserve money creation because people say, oh, central banks don't print money, they issue credit. No, but how can they buy bonds from the government? Well, they create, they have buying power, so they do create fake money out of thin air, and that's what it's all about. Ounces app, thank you for your super chat. Yeah, Ounces app, that's a good app. I have that on my iPhone, and what it does, it allows you to put keep track of your gold, silver, platinum, or palladium stack. So let's say you've got 10 ounces of gold, 100 ounces of silver. You can put that in there, and it updates how much it is worth in your home currency. I think is a really good app. He says, Ounces says, Mara, we all appreciate your insights and analysis during these live streams and videos throughout the week. Thank you for doing what you do. Oh, you're welcome. Attorney Michael Eline, best channel on YouTube. Oh, hi, Michael. Nice to see you here. Andrew Kiriakou, 1922. I guess you're in the Isle of Man. Well, there's another island that's really interesting. It's the Isle of Sark, Sark. I don't even think they have cars there, and it's very low tax, and there's only 500 people. It's one of the Channel Islands. Oh yeah, let me bring up this gold chart that I have. Yeah, just yeah, because there's a lot of people that never follow gold. They're all coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, gold's finished." So this is a monthly logarithmic chart, and it's so it only gives you the price of gold at the close of each month. So this is the correction we've had. Does it look like? I know it's a monthly chart, so it doesn't show it, but it still looks very bullish to me. So that's one way to look at it. So we could put back the candles so you can look at it. Even with the candle chart, it still looks pretty good. Yes, we accelerated up to 4380 and we've come back down, but it's still looking, we're still way above the close from September, which was 3858. We're 4114. And if you look at it on a quarterly basis, it looks, yeah, it doesn't look, it still looks quite tame, the bull market. It still looks like we could go a lot higher. But a lot of people say, well, gold is not going higher. It's the dollar that's going down. So I've got another chart here. This is how many grams of gold you can get for $1. So instead of being XAU USD, it's USD XAU, and it starts in 1953. You could get like just under a gram of gold for $1, and now it's falling through the bottom of the chart, as you can see, and you can only get 0.007 of a gram, and this is going to continue. And you can go on this. This is the page here, fxtop.com, and you can do that for every currency out there, and it will show you they all look the same. And the worst thing is this here, the dollar's lost 99% of its value since 1953. Oh, I got another screenshot I wanted to show you guys. I thought this was interesting. Gold and iPhone drive surprise growth in UK retail sales. I guess that's the sign that the public is waking up to the fact that the pound is getting debased and they're buying gold. official figures showed that retail sales beat forecasts of a contraction to rise 0.5. So smartphones, I guess the iPhone 17 came out, and people are keen to get the new iPhone 17. So there you go. Anything else here for you guys? Let's see another chart. Ruby 200, will you have Susan Kukinda of the Promethean Institute as a guest? She has some insights on the British imperial system and Donald Trump. Does she have a YouTube channel? I haven't heard of this person, but I'll have a look into it. Over here, it says, Mary, you talk to us as if we were all friends. Uh, actually, when I started the channel, I thought one thing that I would do is talk to people as if they were my friends. So yeah, I do try to be like that. That's one of the things because I remember talking to friends at work. I didn't, I mean, uh, like good friends at work, and we used to talk about these things. So I thought to myself, well, I'm going to talk to people as if I was talking to my friend Aaron, who was a good friend at work at MF Global. So yeah, that's what I guess, yeah, is one of my secrets. Well, not so secret anymore. No, Mara, there's another island that is very interesting. It's called Ricker's Island. Yeah, that one is where a lot of politicians should be in, right? They should be there. Silver chart. Yeah, let's bring up the silver chart. High O silver, asking for the silver chart. How could I forget silver? Let's bring it up. Okay. So I've got that line chart for silver monthly basis. So right now, uh, if the month were to end right now, we'd be closing at a new all-time high, 48. That's an interesting number there, isn't it? It shut the week, closed at 48,666.25 silver. And here it was at 47 or 47.80. And it closed monthly here at 34. So actually, silver's breaking out. And let's do a bar chart, candle chart. Sorry, I meant candle. And so even on a candle chart or bar chart, it still looks pretty good. I mean, yes, it's come off a bit from the highs, but we're still up on the month. And this is of course, I've spoken about this huge teacup and handle formation. So we draw this here. I mean, yeah, you can definitely see we're trying to break out of this. We've retested that, but I think it's gonna go right back up. And yeah, it looks very bullish. And yeah, silver. And I think even some people who are like in the gold camp and that are very bullish generally, a lot of them are kind of saying, "Oh, we're going to see a big correction," and I'm not too sure about that. I think things are getting really it's really speeding up the collapse of the currencies. And if that happens, gold and silver are going to keep going up. Fredo log, I suppose that then that would be a question of faith then. Crokai, sorry, I'm not sure how to highlight your name. Uh, Ray Hohoy, I watch your videos every day, Mario, and thank you for your priceless insights and humility. You're truly one of a kind. Thank you. Uh, Mr. BAU79, thank you for being moderator. Hey, Mario, tell the story of the yacht race story with your dad. Oh, I will. Let me just thank Echo Echo. Uh, Thank you for your super chat. Do you think Milei can fix Argentina's economic problem, or is the cure too painful? It is painful, and I'm not too sure about Milei anymore, whether he's legitimate Austrian libertarian. But I think, yeah, I think it's more of a cultural problem Argentinians have. They just, yeah, they're in this mindset, socialist government intervention mindset. It's going to be very tough, which is a shame because it's a very wealthy country in resource wise. Also, okay, the story of my race with my dad. Yeah, I was about 10 or 11 in Brazil, and I'll show you the boat that we raced. It wasn't really a yacht, star star boat. I think this is the story. So there you go. Yeah, my dad loved these boats. He sailed in these boats, and they're for adults usually. You see, there's the skipper and the crew, and you have to when it's really windy, you really have to go over here, like the crew. So as a 11 or 10-year old, I was too young to race with my dad, but I always wanted to. So there's a race in Rio, in Brazil, where I grew up, in the Bay of Rio, and my dad said, "Oh, you can come and race with me because it's not out in the ocean, in the Atlantic." And yeah, it was a weird race because it wasn't a triangle. Usually the circuit is a triangle. It was you sailed down the bay, up the bay, under the bridge. There's a big bridge, and then you tack and come back to the naval school, naval academy, and yeah, so we got went under the bridge, tacked back, and everyone was all the other boats were going down the side of Rio. There's another place where we used to live, Niterói, on the other side. And I told my dad, I said, why don't we go towards Niterói? And he said, why? I said, well, because I play tennis up there somewhere and it's always really windy there. And he decided to tack the boat and go that way. And everyone was going the other way. And yeah, and then when we tacked back to go back to Rio to the finish line, we won by 100, by not a mile, but we won the race. And so that was like my contrarian slant there. So yeah, it was nice to win a race with my dad. Blue Water Stacks, thank you for your super chat. Trying to start a Silver Squeeze Friday, the 31st, Halloween, yeah, Halloween Day. Yeah, banksters will feel the pain. Thanks, Mario. You're welcome. A- Azzy, yeah, I do speak Portuguese. Assi, Acita. Yeah, Brazilian Portuguese is a bit different, the accent, but I do. Rhonda Shelling comedy. Australia has signed rare earth deal with Trump. Yeah, I saw that. And it looks like President Trump and the president of Brazil as well are on better terms now. And Brazil apparently has the most rare earths reserves. Well, it's the number two after China. So yeah, maybe President Trump has changed his mind about Brazil and being really belligerent because he sees that he's not going to get anything from the Chinese, so he's had to, yeah, taco vis-a-vis Brazil. Attorney Michael Eline is asking me how many languages I speak. Well, English, Portuguese, French, German, and Italian. My German is it's all right, so five, I guess. Echo Echo says I bought 2 ounces of silver this week. Not very much, I suppose. Well, any amount is good, Echo Echo. Yeah, you keep buying two every week or every other week, it adds up. Mario Lorenzo Ferrari. Mario, have you tried rub your skin with uh, 999 gold? See what happened. Reports to us. All right, I will. We got 2 minutes, so almost the top of the hour. Uh, Matt Halliday, can you make a video on the charts you use uh, and how we can use them and any costs, etc.? Thanks. Sure, I'll do that. Matt Bittner says oil seems the best value compared to other commodities. Yeah, some people have been saying that you need to sell gold, buy oil. I'm not too sure. I mean, there's always this risk of a Middle East war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Um, I think generally, excuse me, commodities are a good store of value. I think, yeah, that's the way things are going. And especially with the bond market being in the bear market, in my opinion. But oil, yeah, I don't really get too involved in oil. But anyway, Hizya 18, what happens if Rachel from accounting uh, puts buy gold in November budget? What do you mean buy gold? If she announces that they're going to start buying gold? Well, that's very bullish, but I'm not sure um, she's going to do that because buying, yeah, I'm not sure because the UK supposed to buy treasuries. I don't think the Americans would be very happy. Um, don't really get the question because, yeah, I mean, buy gold. Tony QQ, Mario, is gold still a good buy? Um, I think the risk is not having gold and silver. Yeah, so you don't really technically you don't buy gold. You exchange or you know a banknote is a promissory note for money, i.e. gold and silver. So you're actually like exchanging your crappy fiat currencies for real money. So I think it's always good to have gold and silver. And yes, you exchange it for the currency if you have an emergency, but or if you want to get another asset that you think is better than fiat currency, you have to go through the fiat currency though. But no, I think yeah, I think 2, 3, 5 years from now, people are going to look back and say, "Oh, I wish I'd bought gold at 4,000." Ounces, thank you for your super chat. Do you believe any major Western countries will announce plans to purchase gold? How long can they ignore the reality of what's going on? Um, it's possible. It's possible. They might come out. Uh, yeah, maybe countries like Switzerland could be buying gold. Who knows? But the thing is, the Western countries are still under the thumb of the U.S. And no offense to the American viewers, it's just the deep state still in charge, and yeah, they call the shots. So it's time now. We've gone over past the hour, so I like to. Oh, just one more question. Cookie Monster, Mario, what do you think about oil, big guy? As I said earlier, someone asked about oil. Yeah, oil doesn't seem to be going anywhere right now. It's stuck around 60. So I don't really have a view, but if anything, we could see it spike higher with all the trouble still in the Middle East, vis-a-vis Iran. So that's all I would say. Okay, everyone, thank you again. And yeah, I wish you all a great week, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.